might have been on the bench. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm trying to
I'm not
remember
sure.
who was your two, because I know
Our
who your
two
one
was
was.
Del Negro. Our one was Avery Johnson, and
Oh, was Avery
our
Johnson?
three was Sean Elliott.
Okay.
So I mean, most of the scoring was done with Robinson. So like we didn't have the rotations and the defensive stops that we get with Popovich. That's why I said when Mary Ellie helped us a lot in that '99 season. He helped us so much. He was
Basketball talk on
yeah,
Talk Tuesday.
yeah. He was so
So you
instrumental.
saying that San Antonio? You said you went to therapy for the San Antonio Houston
I
talk?
did. I did not like therapy, but like I had to get over it. I had to grow up and just realize Houston was just better than us. Even if Olajuwon dropped 50 on us every single game, which he damn near did. He averaged what 30 something, 37 points in that series. He was killing us. Robinson gave him like 24. He didn't take that one-on-one matchup seriously. And Robinson never went that extra level, like that Kobe, that Michael level.
Wait,
He never
he
went. He
knew
never.
he could not beat.
No, that's not true.
Wait a minute.
Going into that matchup, we thought it was going to be even between the two of them. While Olajuwon might be a little bit better in defense, they weren't that far apart in defense. And he was to me, Robinson was the better scorer. But he didn't take that one-on-one matchup seriously. He didn't. I'm telling you.
Right.
To get cooked like that with the same move in multiple games, and they were better. They were just better. They were better shooters. They had better shooters. They were better team defensively. So yeah.
He knew David Robinson knew he cannot beat Olajuwon.
Not at the beginning of the series. Afterwards, yeah, that's hindsight. Yeah, he was probably better than me. Before that, he knew darn well. He was confident going into that series. Afterwards, it's like, oh, okay, I wasn't good enough. He beat me. He beat me. It wasn't that much difference between the two of them. Olajuwon, that dream shake got a lot of people. Shoot, Shaq's the most dominant center in the 90s and the 2000s, and it got him. So
it got everybody.
It got everybody. It got everybody.
That dream shake was something different.
To me, it was Akeem, David, and then it was Shaq. And then in the 2000s, it was Shaq, and then if you want to say Akeem's over him because he beat him twice, that's fine. But I'm always going to go with Olajuwon, David, and then Shaq in the 90s, in my opinion. Yeah, he was the Gazelle, man. That boy could fly.
Oh, so you saying that David Robinson was better than Shaq in the 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Yes, wholeheartedly. Shaq, you had a better team. Once again,
so
how do you go to the finals?
The only way I accept that, Derek, is if you say that Shaq was so dominant in the 2000s that his 90s was him leading up to it. Like his prime was in the 2000s.
His prime was in the 2000s. The 90s was young Shaq. And that's a good Orlando Magic team. We would have went 7 with them. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we were a series away from the finals. Do I think we could beat Jordan? Hell no. Nobody could beat Jordan. Orlando did, though. I give Shaq that much. But look who he had around him. There's no way you want to tell me in the 90s people expect San Antonio to go with Vinny Del Negro and Avery Johnson in your backcourt. When you got to go up against Penny Hardaway in the finals, and you got to go up against who else? Clyde Drexler. Like Clyde was still Clyde the guy. So
to me, I think Chicago looked past Orlando Magic. They did not take them serious. To me, in my opinion.
Jordan just got back. And once he got his bearings together, the next season he went right back, and he had the greatest season of all time. The next to the 73-9 Warriors.
72-10, but yeah.
No, I'm saying I said they had the best season next to the 73-9 Warriors. They were 72-10. The Bulls. Yeah.
So
Dennis, were you gonna do the intro or?
I mean, I felt as though this was the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to Talk Years Tuesday. It's your boy Dennis Holmes in the building. As you can see, Derek come on here and start shit. So no need for an intro. We just let Derek go ahead and start his shit. This is what we do. But Ron Thomas, what's up, man?
What's up, player?
Okay, I guess that was some stale shit. Ian Rakelli, how you doing, Ian Rakelli?
You know what? I'm just glad he didn't say Ian Thomas, but hey, I'm doing good. I am doing okay. So.
And Derek Kincaid, how you doing, my guy?
I'm good, man. Good, man. Great weekend, man. Great weekend.
Hey, man, it was great to see you this weekend, baby. Hey, off the top sports 8th anniversary. We was out there, baby.
Listen, it was good. It was a good, just good fun. You know what I mean? Great topics, good show, good broadcast, sharp broadcast.
Hey, what's up, bitch?
Anyway, I just want to sit out there and say, listen, I had a great time at Off the Top Sports in Jersey out there in the Orange DeSoco Bar and Grill. Definitely great hospitality. Want to give another shout out there to June and B for putting me on the panel. You know,
oh yeah.
Another shout out there to BJ for suggesting me on the panel, and Nessa. You know what I mean? They all suggested me to be on the panel. I came on there. Might be my last show on there because I think I did a little bit too much. But
hey, well, they don't call you interview podcast for nothing.
Exactly. That's what I said. Hey, that's what I say, baby. That's what I say. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give it to them the way I see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, most definitely we had a great time this weekend. Hopefully we can do it again in August.
Definitely trying to do it again. Yeah.
Hopefully it's like early August because I got a vacation late August. So hopefully it's early August.
Hey, chill out. Chill out.
Yeah. With that being said, though, it's time for what happened, baby. What happened, baby? Put in the comments. What happened, baby?
What happened, baby? I love this shit. I look forward to this shit every motherfucking week. I look forward to this motherfucking shit every damn week.
Okay.
Now, hey, can you say it again? I don't think you were loud enough. What did you say?
Oh, do I just say it with my chest?
Yeah, say it with your chest.
Now, my first what happened, baby. Julio now got a podcast. He talking about he wanted to sit down with Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. And Arthur Blank gave him the runaround. His last year here in ATL. So you tell me your superstar call you and you keep on giving him the runaround. So Julio was like, fuck it, trade me. Julio was like, shit.
No, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Julio was like, shit, you don't want to sit down and talk to me like man to man. Tell me what it's going to be. Trade me somewhere. And he went to Tennessee. That's your fucked up shit, Arthur Blank. If you really did that shit.
Or maybe he felt as though he was done.
Is this straight off the
his phone was on Do Not Disturb. All right, that's what ended up happening. His phone was on Do Not Disturb. You know, he didn't want to answer any phone calls. Yeah, that's what it happens.
But still, you at least sit down and talk to the man. He was here with us for 10 years. You cannot sit down and talk to Julio.
So this was 2017 or 2018?
This was
like 2021, I think, or 2021.
Yeah, 2021. This was 4 years after the championship. Right. So do you think he's a little bit old, and that's why Arthur gave him the runaround?
Yes, because
the average NFL player gets 10 years to their prime. If you're a great player like Julio, you're 4 years outside of your prime. So I think that you see he's worth more than the runaround. You know, you give him an option, but he's 14 years in the league at this point. So it's just do you know?
But me, being a good businessman, to make your team look good, make your front office look good, you just sit down and talk to one of the best wide receiver ever. Lace up the cleats for your team.
Right.
He deserved that much.
Right.
So, my next, what happened, baby? I did a lot of reading this past weekend about Doug Christie, Chris Webber. Chris Webber, you fouled, dog. You fouled.
Hold up. Chris Webber said it ain't true.
Right.
He said it ain't true. And he said if we talk about him on social media, his lawyers was gonna come at this. So he said, if you talk about me on your content, my lawyer's coming at you, Brian. He gonna sue your ass if you want to continue this conversation. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm out of this. Go ahead.
My next, what happened, baby, is Dennis Holmes.
Right, that's me, baby.
Wait a minute. You said on the BJ show, stay tuned. You said Drake London, not no top 5 wide receiver, right?
He damn sure ain't.
Okay, player, we already talked about stats, right?
Right? Yeah, go ahead. Pull them out.
Oh boy, here we go.
Wait a minute. This what you said, player. You said this bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, there ain't no bullshit. He ain't top 5 in the NFC. No. I'm gonna break it. I got you. I know the stats, motherfucker. He ain't all pro. Hey, listen. Go ahead.
Can I finish with my stats?
Cool when they do it.
It's cool when you do it. But when I do it, you got a problem. You brought this shit on yourself. I told you I would get you. I told you I would get you. You put your foot in your own damn mouth. You put your foot in your mouth on BJ show.
Sir.
Wait, he do what?
Drake London ain't top 5 in just the NFC.
Okay, why Drake London got 1,271 yards his third year, and now
that was last season. That was last season.
That was last season. Yes.
Right. Does that make him top 5?
Wait a minute. But you said
I'm asking you the question. You the one got all this. Wait a minute.
Let me finish. But you said CD Lamb a top 5, right? And they had almost the same stats last year.
Right. And CD Lamb and CD Lamb was playing with 3 different quarterbacks last year. Since you want to bring it up like that, make sure you get all the goddamn facts. All right. Dakota went out early.
Drake London was playing with 3 different quarterbacks.
No, y'all played with 2. It wasn't no damn 3. It was 2. And one of them y'all went and paid $50 million to.
Wait a minute, Mariota. You forgot about
you had Mariota last year. Mariota played for Washington last year.
You just brought up 3 different quarterbacks for CD Lamb.
CD Lamb.
You just now your other top 5 wide receiver. You said AJ Brown, right? Last year, last year
he was all pro.
AJ Brown had 1,019 yards. This what you said.
He was all pro though, right? I didn't make him all pro. I don't have a vote for all pro.
So
was he all pro?
To me, they got the same amount of yards, right? Right?
I ain't got nothing to do with that. But see, I'm asking you a question. Was he all pro? How many wide receivers go up? Oh, hold on, player. You asking me the question. I'm giving you my answer why he not top 5. In the NFC, there were 4 wide receivers that went all pro. Is Drake London one of them?
He should be one of them.
No. That ain't about what he should be. It ain't about what he should be. I'm asking you I don't have a vote for all pro. Was Drake London all pro is the question.
He should be all pro.
No. You dancing. I don't need you dancing. Snort that cocaine. Snort that cocaine that you want. Get your nose down there and snort it. Why is he all pro?
No.
All right. That's the answer to it. He ain't top 5. He ain't. Hold up, sir. He ain't top 5. He ain't even the best wide receiver in his division, sir.
Wait a minute. I looked at the yards and the stats. Speak for itself. He got the same stats that CD Lamb got and got the same stats that AJ Brown got.
I'm asking you a question.
What they're saying? What they're
Who's
saying?
who's the best receiver in that division?
Can I ask a question?
Mike Evans.
Hey, can I do a rebuttal real quick? Just real quick?
Yes.
All right, so you're talking about stats, right? You're talking about all this yardage from last year.
Yeah.
All right, Ron. Jerry Jeudy had 1,200 yards, and he had 4 different quarterbacks in Cleveland. Does that make Jerry Jeudy a top 5 receiver?
He should be if you got 1,200 yards.
Okay. So it should.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy should be a top 5 receiver because he had 1,200 yards.
It's one of the criteria. It's one of the criteria. He had a pretty good deep, but I think it was because he had the outstanding games. It wasn't like he was the man the whole season. Like Drake London wasn't the man the whole season.
Like, by the way, just for your audience and all the millions who are watching all around the world, I want to remind you who the All-Pros were last year, just so everybody remembers. It was Jamar Chase, it was Justin Jefferson, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown, it was CD Lamb, and it was A.J. Brown. If that isn't the top 5 based off of All-Pro, I don't know who is.
I agree.
So I don't know what the debate is. Like, what's this?
Hey, Ron.
Like
I
said,
just because I said something bad about your team, you need to get out your feelings, all right? You need to throw your feelings. You throw your feelings to the trash. I'm just letting you know you throw your feelings to the trash. I hear people say stuff about my motherfucking team all the time. People still say Jalen Hurts ain't top 5. You know what I say? That's all right. I just say that's all right.
Your prop. I give your team a prop.
Where would you put Drake London? Where would you pick Drake London? Dan?
Drake.
He said third tier. He said third tier on the BJ show.
How many 1,000-yard seasons he had? How many 1,000-yard seasons he had?
That bullshit.
How many 1,000-yard seasons he had?
That's third tier. Is he better than Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No.
Hey, Derek, it's the first year I ever broke 1,000 yards. Just let you know.
Okay,
is he better than Mike Evans?
He's not a top-tier receiver.
Is he better than Mike Evans?
No.
Is he better than Chris Godwin? Chris Godwin got injured last year, so let's not go off last year. He got injured last year. Tore his hamstring. No, I think he tore his Achilles.
As of last year, you could say yes, but overall, no.
Okay. Is he better than? Hold on. Is he better than Brandon Ayuk?
No.
We almost at 10. We almost at 10. Is he better than Scary Terry?
What was Scary Terry's numbers last year? Was it better than his?
He's 1,000 yards every year, no matter who's the quarterback.
So then no.
So what you saying then is stats don't matter, right?
Hey,
no, I didn't say stats matter, but it also goes by impact.
He got right.
He ain't top 5. He got 1,000-yard season. You see, on the same show, Ron, you seen they got mad at me because I said a player that's not even on my fucking team. I said that fucking Puka Nacua should be raised higher.
He should be.
They put Malik Neighbors. They put Malik Neighbors over Puka Nacua.
No, I think Malik Neighbors played better than Puka Nacua last year. Yeah, I think so.
Puka Nacua got 2 consistent years with 1,000 yards.
Okay, and Neighbors balled out last year.
Look. When it comes to receivers, stats do matter, but context behind it matters. You can give me all the stats you want. You can give me X, Y, and Z, but I need the context behind it. See, Drake London with 1,200 yards sounds nice, but then you realize that this is his first 1,000-yard season, and that wasn't his rookie year last year. I need the context behind it. So stats do matter, but it's like Brian Thomas last year being 4th in receiving yards. Do we crown Brian Thomas now as a top 5 receiver since he was top 5 in receiving yards? Malik Neighbors was top 10 in receiving yards. Do we crown him because they're off of 1 year? Context.
I just looking at the stats, at the numbers,
and that's why it ain't just about numbers.
But the numbers show your progress of work. It does show
your progress of work, but it ain't just about the numbers.
It's not. It's like you said. It's impact. It's how good you are compared to the competition. But numbers do count. That's why you put like
if you want to feel better, though, Ryan, Drake London did catch the winning touchdown against us, so I guess that makes
it not even about that. I look at overall work.
Do you think he will be all pro next year, Ryan? You think he'll be all pro next year?
Most definitely.
It all depends on the stats that he puts up. If he puts up around similar numbers from last year, maybe he will. It's all about what he puts up this year.
The first 2 years, Drake London, he had as a head coach Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith liked to run the ball. He liked to run the ball.
Drake London is better than Jameson Williams. Yeah.
From the Lions?
Look, Jameson Williams has potential. We see the talent there, but
I see the talent there too. Yeah, he's pretty good. He hasn't
shown a full 17 games worth of talent yet.
I don't think he has a full. In my eyes, it don't look like he got a full route tree. One thing I can say about Drake London can run a full route tree. He can show his dominance enough to be a number 1 wide receiver. He's just not top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
He is the number 1 top receiver in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, not the number 1.
I didn't say he was.
Kyle Pitts has the potential to become it, though. He's 6'7", 6'6". That was a monster.
Well, first off, by the way, I'm just going to let Ron know now. When it comes to Drake London, personally, I have him 9th when I rank the receivers. I have him at 9.
I just think a lot of people sleeping on Drake London, and
look, he's a top 10. He's a top 10 receiver, but he's got to show me consistency.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Dalton.
But then my last, what happened, baby?
Yeah, what happened, baby? What you got over there, Ian?
So what happened, baby? Going to go over to my sport, which is the Stanley Cup Finals. The Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. They've had a brutal and gruesome back and forth right now in the NHL. And what happened, baby, is that in the most recent game that happened last night, they had over 125 penalty minutes combined between both teams last night. It was scrum after scrum. It was fight after fight. Game misconduct here, slash here, hooking here, tripping here. There was even a fight after the buzzer sounded. Okay, Corey Perry was trying to get Tomas Nosek like it was personal. All right, like he owed him money. Okay, that's what he was acting like. So when it comes to the Stanley Cup Finals, we have not seen really that aggression in the last couple of years, where both teams can't stand each other. They don't like each other, and they're showing it on the ice in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, is a lot of it because it's a Stanley Cup rematch and Edmonton and Florida faced off last year, and now they're facing off this year? Most likely. But what happened, baby, is the most amount of penalty minutes we have seen in really the last couple of years. The last time this even remotely got anywhere near the combined penalty minutes was in 2023. And that was game 2 between the Vegas Golden Knights and Florida Panthers. So very interesting game 3, that Stanley Cup Finals. And they're going to be going into game 4 in Miami with Florida being up 2-1. So that is my what happened, baby.
All right, what you got over there, Derek?
I think my what happened, baby, is the Pacers taking game 1. Even though now we see that the Thunder, has tied it up, the fact that they were able to beat them being down 15 late in the 4th, my goodness. These Pacers are just on a Cinderella run. I am worried now because the Thunder tied it up, but that first game, if you're a Pacers fan, I know you are excited about this series. So this is a barn burner. I don't know. But I think OKC has kind of redeemed themselves from game one. But yeah, man, that game one, that buzzer beater from Tyler Hollenberg, and he is a superstar. But yeah, that's my what happened, baby.
Wait, I'm sorry. What now?
Let's say that again. Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar.
He is a superstar.
I mean, he's a star. He's a star.
He's a superstar.
He's a star.
I read in on this. He is a star, not no superstar yet.
So superstar, you either win a championship, played in a championship.
Superstar is a top 10 player in the league, sir. That's my definition.
True, but even though the talent might be a little bit better with, say, Jalen Brunson and Luka and Shea, but you can't put him out of that he's in that top 5 best point guard in the league.
Okay, so we're talking position by position. I'm gonna say he's a top 5 point guard. What I'm saying is that Halliburton is a top 15 player in the league because I put him right on the outside of the top 10. He's on the way there, but right now he is outside the top 10.
Well,
that makes him a star.
All the rest of the best point guards in the league ain't in the finals. He is. So that's a stretch. That's a flex. I'm sorry. That's a flex for him. If he wins this championship, there's no doubt about it. He's a superstar.
Let me ask you this: that if the Cavs did not get injured, if the Bucks did not get injured, do you think the Pacers would be here right now?
Yeah.
I don't know about the Cavs, but I think they would have beat the Bucks. I don't think Bucks had enough to beat them. The Pacers are so tough, especially in that fourth quarter, man. They just fearless. It's like they let you have the lead, they let you drop your guard just to beat you in the fourth. And they've been doing it all the playoffs. Even when the Cavs got healthy, they still kicked their behind. And Donovan Mitchell was killing them. That's why I'm not giving up on them in the series, because Donovan Mitchell was doing the same thing Shea's doing, averaging 30 a game, and then they got beat. Now, Chuck Holmgren played pretty good in game 2. So I see, they're contributing. Williams is doing his thing. So, but the Pacers just got to figure out, hey, we got to get out of the turning the ball over, and how do we beat the OKC Thunder, their defensive schemes? But, man, they shocked the world with that game 1. But he's a superstar, and that's cool. Y'all have your opinions, but the top 5 best point guard in the league is in the finals fighting for a championship.
Okay. And we've seen that before. But...
Oh, you talking about Iverson?
Nah, we'll never be labeled a superstar until he starts showing up in the first, not the fourth. It's wild. I think they just hating on him because he likes it.
It's crazy. You went from conference finals to that last year to the finals, and you demolished New York, a pretty good New York team too.
And once again, he's top 15. I ain't taking anything away from him. He's a top 15 player.
Okay.
Which is in my eyes a superstar, but it's all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's top 15. That's a squad.
Once again, Dennis and I have had a difference on this. My criteria has been the same way for the last 5 years. If you're top 10, superstar. Top 25, you're a star. Top 50, you're an all-star. All right, that's the way I look at it. Not everybody in the league is a superstar. All right, there's some NBA media members who I hate with a passion because they list like 40 people as a superstar. Stop. Like,
no, everybody not a superstar. Some teams have 2 superstars.
They do.
Some teams have 2 superstars. And not everybody's a superstar.
Like, Damian Lillard's a superstar, and so is Giannis, of course, is a superstar. But Damian Lillard is not young anymore. He's in his 30s, and he's struggling with injuries.
Lillard in the Milwaukee uniform.
He's a star.
He's a star? Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Donovan Mitchell's a superstar.
Yes, he is.
I put him as a star. He's a star.
What?
Hey, you tripping.
Come on. That is the most outlandish thing
Shoot him in the glasses. Shoot him in the glass.
I put him
Not that far. Hold on. I need you for Sundays, man. So I can root some Bronco. But anyway, how is Donovan Mitchell not a superstar?
Donovan Mitchell to me is a top 15 player, but he's not a solidified top 10.
At his position, name 5 players better than him.
At the shooting guard position, you got Anthony Edwards.
That's a toss up.
No, Anthony Edwards is better than Donovan Mitchell, but I'm trying to think who else. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Anthony Edwards not giving me 30 a night. Donovan Mitchell can't, and Donovan Mitchell's older.
Yeah, but Donovan Mitchell don't really show up like that in the playoffs either. Is he another one of those guys
like that in the playoffs? What does Anthony Edwards won conference finals?
Hold on, man. Has he been to the conference finals? I want to make sure before I go any further.
I don't think so. I think he's only been to the second round.
Well, Anthony Edwards has been to the conference finals twice. So I'm going down.
But that don't make you the better player, though.
I'm going Anthony Edwards. I'm going Anthony Edwards, the better player.
He don't shoot better than Donovan Mitchell. He don't score better than Donovan Mitchell. He can get to the basket better.
People don't shoot better than goddamn Reggie Miller. Fuck that got to do anything.
Well, Curry does, but I understand what you're saying. But my thing is, Donovan Mitchell can do everything Anthony Edwards do. He just don't have the same vertical jump that Anthony Edwards has.
The vertical. No. I think they both jump out the gym the same height.
Yeah, I think the problem
is Donovan Mitchell does not take over games and playoff situations the same way Anthony Edwards does.
He did against Indiana. They had the better team.
They didn't have the better team. They did not have the better team. Stop. Indiana has not had the better team in not one game in this playoffs.
Dude, they were up. What's the name before they got hurt? Indiana was controlling that series. They were the better team.
They was because they beat them because of good coaching.
True.
And Halliburton started again. It's about your playoff performance. I keep saying this. There are guys out there that when the playoffs start, they act like they don't play bad. They don't play sports no more.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said I really put a lot on your playoff performance. Right. As in playoff peak, which I guess that means I ain't playing off this the fuck because I ain't seen playoff peak.
Okay, you know what? I still think it's a toss-up between Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards, but I'll give it to the young gun. He did make it to a conference finals, and he has shown they can play in the.
He made it to 2 conference finals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, Anthony Edwards. I'm taking Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
You asked me who I'm putting my money on. We're gonna go win a championship. Who you put your money on to win a championship? How about that? That's the question.
Well, neither. I don't know. We'll
right.
See.
That's the question. That's when we start asking. That's how you put the pressure on them. Who you put your money on to win a championship?
We'll see. We'll see if he can get over that hump in the next few years. And what's the name in Cleveland? It's gonna be tough for him. It's tougher for Donovan Mitchell to win than because he's older too, and he ain't getting no younger. So yeah, he's older too. I think it's tougher for Donovan Mitchell because now he has Boston.
Well, I think it's going to be tougher because they about to blow that team up.
Okay. I don't think that's Cleveland's fault.
Wait a minute, you said it's tougher for him to win in Cleveland than in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards?
Because like you said, that Minnesota team is coached better. That Minnesota team, to me, on paper, I would give it to Cleveland because Cleveland to me have better defenders. They do. I don't. They just been coming up short. I'm not going to lie.
If you look at the West,
I'm not going to lie. I'm biased. I'm a Donovan Mitchell fan. I've been a Donovan Mitchell fan. I am biased. I'm not going to lie. I like Anthony Edwards. I have nothing against them.
In the West, you got the Lakers, you got Dallas, you got the Nuggets, you got Phoenix. If you want to put them in there.
Whoa.
Okay. You got the Warriors. My bad.
Yeah, the Warriors.
You got the Warriors.
Yeah. Okay.
That 4 teams right there.
And the
Four
Thunder, yeah, the
hard
Thunder,
ass
yeah.
team. In the East, you got Boston and you got who and the Bucks.
You got
No,
Boston,
you got
Knicks,
Boston,
It's not even the
New
Bucks no
York.
more.
You
Pacers.
got New
You got
York.
Boston, the Bucks, and the Pacers.
Right.
No, not the Bucks. Not the Bucks. You got Boston. You got
Well,
New York.
if they trade
you got the
Giannis, yeah.
Pacers. You got Pacers, and then
New
who was the
York.
other four things?
Um,
There's another team.
Detroit's on the up and up, but that's
they on the up and up, right?
Detroit's
Right.
on
But
the- and I'm a biased fan on the Orlando Magic.
But what I'm saying, I
I
think
just
it's
say because
hard.
he's older. I just think because he's older. He's older. I think that's why it's harder. Anthony Edwards still in his prime.
Hard
Donovan
to
Mitchell
win
was
for Anthony Edwards to win in Minnesota than it is in the East for the Cavs.
I'm not saying the team is not more. The teams are not more competitive in the West, but it's still hard in the East to win the championship. It's still hard. Like let's not like as I said, Indiana were fortunate that they got hurt. I think Cleveland makes that a 7-game series.
Ain't nobody saying about Steve Kerr. I remember not Steve Kerr. I meant to say Chef Curry.
Memphis?
Yeah, no, Chef Curry. When he won his first championship, everybody got injured.
Right.
Every point guard he won against got injured when he won his first championship.
That's true. That's true.
Ain't nobody say a damn thing.
They were lucky that the Clippers beat us in 7-game series.
Oh shit! Here we go. I knew he was going to
We pressed on the championship.
Anyway, you knew you was going to get it. Just there. Anyway,
I got slide one in. I got faith in system.
Yeah, I know. So let me go ahead and get to
what happened, man.
Yeah, let me get to my what happened, baby. First, what happened, baby. I'm gonna have to say I didn't like the way the refs was doing in game 2. Now, I'm not gonna say they was cheating, but some of them fouls just look like y'all had to make sure the home team won. Like just taking the momentum out the air from the faces, man. And I just ain't like the way it was ref. And that's just I ain't hear nobody else complain about it. Maybe I'm the only one that's seeing this. Maybe I seen a bad game.
I agree with you, but my take is Indiana ain't been getting a lot of calls in the New York series or in the Thunder series. And I watched both series close every single game, and they've been really biased against Indiana. I'll tell you this much. In game 2, it was getting crazy. Indiana just couldn't get over that defensive scheme worked perfectly. It seemed like whatever they didn't do in game 1, they fixed it in game 2. But yeah, Indiana don't get no calls. Nah, man, not like that. Shay, Shay's already.
I seen Shay get some calls, and I seen him bump somebody else and get a call.
I know the Zach play you're talking about. I think it was in the 3rd or 4th quarter, and I'm like, he
bumped him up, and then he got a foul.
He got a foul. Like, what do you do with that? But they turn the ball over too much. That's their issue. In both first and second game, they turn the ball way over too much. Yeah.
But that all you got, Dennis.
Yeah. The other. No, that's all I got. Go ahead, man. These are these certified players. Sir, get out of here.
The pivot. I give them my first certified because Shaquille O'Neal went back on there again. And they be having some good discussions and everything. And it like, I don't know if Shaq told them, hey, y'all didn't ask me anything before the podcast, but they talked about everything. So shout out to them. And my next one, the point guard from Little Memphis, and he went to Mike Mike Collin, he just retired.
Oh, Michael Conley.
You're talking about Mike Conley.
My bad, Michael Conley.
Yeah, he played for Minnesota.
He played for Memphis too a long time ago. So
yeah,
but he just retired. He played for 17 years. 17. Not a lot of basketball players to play that long. And my last one, the BET Awards. I like
Yeah,
how
the one
they
you
just
know.
put. I like how they added the 1-6 and part in there. I like how they did it. So give them they props because lately the BET Awards a couple years ago they were trash, but I think
Nah,
they really take. Huh?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I see they really take the time out to think about what they're going to do on the show. So shout
Does the
out
black
to the.
lady, does she still on BET? Or she still running?
I
I
think
don't
no,
know
no,
who
no.
run it.
It's Tyler Perry joint now.
Tyler Perry owns BET?
I think so.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
So,
That's good. I like that.
so shout out to BET and all that. So that's my last one, Dennis.
All right, what we got over there, Ian?
So I have two certifieds. First one is going over to the WNBA because Mark Davis, when he purchased the Las Vegas Aces, it was for $2 million. That was how much he purchased the Las Vegas Aces for a couple of years back. Now, after winning 2 WNBA championships back to back, being in the playoffs consecutive years in a row, selling out arenas out here in Las Vegas, and bringing attention to women's basketball here in Vegas, they have said that in a recent estimate that the Las Vegas Aces would be a $300 million valuation for the WNBA.
Dang.
So to me, that's certified. To go from buying it for $2 million to now it being valued at $300 million. So
That's
to me,
what I'm
that
talking
deserves certified right there.
Now I need to hit the BJ. We got her hit the lotto. All right, we bullshit. We got her hit the lotto. Get us a WNBA team.
I'm sorry. I'm if I hit the lotto, I'm not invested in WNBA.
No, ain't nobody none of that. Listen, you got bad news. You keep to yourself. Stay in the dark. All right, stay in the dark.
Oh, we gonna get me, boy.
And then my second certified, going over to the NHL and talking about the Stanley Cup Finals, Sam Bennett from the Florida Panthers. He has 14 goals in this postseason and has scored 4 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals alone. So for Sam Bennett, this is a guy who's very valuable for Florida. And in 20 games this postseason to rack up 14 goals, it has been an impressive run from Florida's Sam Bennett. So he is my certified player. The fact that he is scoring goals well over a goal per game in the Stanley Cup Finals, that is an incredible job. So
what up, Lehigh?
fantastic job by Sam Bennett.
All right, what you got over there, Derek? Certified player.
I'm trying to think. Somebody recently retired for the NFL. Oh God.
I know what you call him retired from the Sixers. What is his name? He's also a point guard from Philly too. Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry just retired?
Kyle Lowry retired.
Well, that's my certified player, man. Kyle Lowry was the man in Toronto.
You think Kyle Lowry is the best point guard to come out of Philadelphia?
Ooh, that's a good point. If I think about it, yeah, for now, I mean, you probably can pick point guards from Philly. Jameer Nelson, he went to St. Joe's, right? Yeah.
Right. Jameer Nelson, you got
but he's not better. He's not better than Kyle Lowry, though. It's not that far apart.
No, Coutinho Mobley plays shoe guard, so no.
Right. DeJuan Wagner didn't really play that much in the league, so no.
DeJuan Wagner's from Kansas, sir.
That is true.
Mo Peterson.
Yeah, but he's not better than Kyle Lowry. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about other point guards that made this. That's a conversation.
That's a conversation.
Yeah.
What about Aaron McKee?
Aaron McKee is more of a shooting guard. Well, I guess he's a tweener. I don't know.
But he's not better than Kyle Lowry, though. No.
No, he ain't. I mean, that's another one. You know what I mean? He ain't better than Kyle. Yeah. Okay.
We probably were looking somebody. We were looking somebody. It's a point guard. I'm trying to remember. Ooh.
That point guard had to do some damage in the league from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can't think of.
Flip Murray. Flip Murray. Flip Murray. Well, he's not better than Kyle Lowry, though.
He's better than Kyle Lowry.
No, he's not better than Kyle Lowry. Mansion, let's go, baby.
All right, so my certified player is the WWE listening to the fans and letting our truth back, which that probably could have been a scheme. I don't know. You gotta watch wrestling. All right, they're gonna say they fired.
They brought him back. Oh.
Yeah,
they brought him. Yeah, they're gonna say they fired him, and then they brought him back, and he whooped John Cena's ass. I don't know. It could have been a scheme. Well, and then next thing you know, he come on Monday night and cut his dreads off. Cut his dreads right off.
Not the dreads.
But true son.
He looked like somebody bald head ass aunt when he cut them dreads off.
Right.
Hold on.
Our true son said the Triple H took the credit about that. And our true son went on Instagram or X or what one though. He said Triple H, you lying. You cannot take the credit about that. Our true was gonna come back regardless.
Okay.
This was our true son said. So
okay. Well, now he goes by Ron Killings, no more our truth.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that was pretty. If it was designed, they did a good job, WWE, with that. If it was designed, but they writers ain't usually that good, so I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna give them the credit and say that they did do it on purpose. The writers usually ain't that good. I mean, Gunther won the belt last night, and it surprised the shit out of me. Shout out to Gunther, man. The best ring general, Gunther.
Wait, you mean the ring general? The ring.
Yeah, I like Gunther, man. I like him a lot. And Jey Uso lost the belt last night, which I gotta say, well, now we need to see what these writers are gonna do. They're gonna have to write up some good shit here because SummerSlam is creeping around the corner.
I mean, realistically, how much can you do with a guy who's just a catchphrase? I mean.
Anyway, Ron, get to the question.
That messed up, yeah.
Right.
Hey, I'm just saying, how much can you do for
4 letters, 1 word? Gate.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Wait a minute. My first question is, can we put Kevin O'Connor top 5 coach when it comes to fixing quarterbacks in
the NFL right now? Yes.
NFL right now.
In the NFL right now, yes. Yes. I think it's Andy Reid. I think it's Sean McVay. I will give some credit to Matt LaFleur. LaFleur.
Sean Payton. Sean Payton did a pretty good job with Bo Nix.
All right. I'm out. Go ahead, Dave. Do that.
Rookie quarterback.
Ain't no fucking way. So what we gonna say? We gonna say Washington too? We're gonna give it to Dan Quinn and them?
But no, I think Jaden Daniels, he has a lot to do with his own success. Dan Quinn's a defensive minded coach, so I can't give that to Dan Quinn. No. But Sean Payton,
who's the offensive coordinator over there?
They got
who's the offensive coordinator over there? I forgot. Shit.
They got Bradbury, don't they? Used to be the head coach.
Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Kingsbury.
The Cardinals. Yeah. Yeah, but he did a great job with Bo Nix. He was actually up for Coach of the Year last year.
So hold on. Rephrase the question because I got a feeling I know what you're trying to say, but rephrase it. What are you trying to say?
I don't.
You don't.
When it comes to fixing quarterbacks, can we put up there Kevin O'Connor, top 5?
No.
Why not?
Because what's the sample size? Are we just giving credit for one quarterback? That's it?
Yes, Sam Donald was ass.
Is one quarterback a big enough sample size?
Wait a minute.
One quarterback. Is that enough of a sample size to say, oh, okay, he's doing a good job?
Well, it's not just one quarterback. That one quarterback went from bottom tier to high tier in a season and was lighting the league up. In one season.
One season now.
Now, like you said,
can I propose a question to you?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
How are you sure that it was him and not the regime before him? So you got to remember where Sam Darnold came from before getting to Minnesota.
Okay, wait a minute. He went from the Jets, right?
He went to
Carolina, right?
Right.
Carolina, yes.
He went to the 49ers.
Yes, he did.
And he showed the fuck out with Minnesota.
And Minnesota.
But let me ask you, how do we not know that San Francisco helped Darnold more than Minnesota did? How do you know?
We know for the record, and we know he balled out. Because
people in San Francisco, and I spoke to people who are 49ers fans, they wanted to keep Darnold, but not for the amount of money that Minnesota gave him. They liked what they saw from Darnold in San Francisco, the progression of Darnold.
Now,
so, I don't want to give him credit for one quarterback.
We can put Kyle Shanahan up there because he did a great job with Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo. So we could put him in that top 5 too.
That's why I'm saying I'm not giving him credit because we don't definitively know if it was him.
Well, if he do it this year, that will prove him right, and if he doesn't, then that will prove you right. So we have to see.
But what I'm saying, did he really play with the 49ers? He did not play like that.
Did he start? No. But was he in practices? Yes. Was he in the training room? Yes. Was he watching film? Was he studying, learning certain things? San Francisco? Yes, he was.
I agree, Ron. It's
we have heard from 49ers reports that they liked Darnold. The Shanahan actually liked what he saw from Darnold. He even come out and said that.
It's a large jump from being bottom tier to now you're a Pro Bowler.
Right, that's a large jump.
Large jump. So we'll see what he does this year. He's with Seattle now, right?
He's in Seattle, yes.
With Seattle.
Defensive-minded coach.
That's Geno's with the Raiders, yeah.
Right.
We'll see. But look, he shocked me, man. I was all rude. I understand, Ian. I know it's personal with you, in your division. But
honestly, it's not personal with me. Minnesota is the one team I don't really care that much about.
Okay.
Green Bay, I care more about.
But I got to give Sam Donald and Kevin O'Connor their props.
Okay.
Because when Sam Donald went to the Jets, he looked like the man that seen ghosts on the field.
Well, he really didn't have a system with the Jets. That's been the Jets' problem for the last decade. They really haven't had a system that's been built.
They were playing Ghostbusters music in their own stadium.
Look, here's what I'm trying to explain to you. The Jets was a bad team to go to. There's really no system there. He went to Carolina, where quarterbacks have gone to die. That's been Carolina. So he leaves 2 bad systems, goes to San Francisco. Shanahan liked him. The coaching staff liked him. They saw what he did when he was coming to practices and trainings and everything like that. And then he goes to Minnesota. He wasn't supposed to start, by the way. If J.J. McCarthy didn't have what J.J. McCarthy did, Sam Darnold probably wouldn't have been getting a chance to begin with. But when it comes to Sam Darnold, and this is what I mean by sample size, if J.J. McCarthy balls out this year, then I will say that you are correct. But if he doesn't, then I'm going to lean towards Kyle Shanahan getting more credit than O'Connell did. Because San Francisco did a lot for Darnold. San Francisco did a lot. So.
I think Kyle Shanahan's a much better quarterback helper than Kevin O'Connell. So yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, I think it's 50-50. You cannot go wrong with that one.
Okay.
As I said, like you said, the sample size he has to prove it outside being on a good football team because Minnesota's much better than San Fran now. So yeah, you got to prove it.
Wait, in 2025, or are you talking about last year?
Last year, yeah. I'm sorry, last year, yeah.
Okay, because last year makes sense. This year it's a stretch. I don't know if Minnesota and Texas go this year.
But. My next question: do you think NFL rookies need to hold out if the business side is not done in?
It's situational. It really depends on how lowballed your contract offer was. If you are, let's say, the 15th overall pick and they give you 31st overall pick money, you're going to hold out because you want to get 15th overall money. We have seen this in the past where a 9th overall pick holds out because they want to give him 15th overall money. All right? When it comes to the CBA, when it comes to collective bargaining and the NFLPA and all they negotiate and all the stuff that they spend so much time doing, a rookie is allotted at a certain amount. But teams, being cheap as they are, they don't want to pay that certain amount, so they try to go lower. So I don't feel bad about Cincinnati and Stewart because I have a suspicious feeling that Cincinnati's trying to lowball him and not pay him what his allotted amount is. So no, go get your money because that's what you're allotted to. That's where you're positioned in terms of where you were drafted. So no, I don't feel that at all.
I'm more of I'm a little old school with this, and the reason why I say that is you pay to play, so they pay you to play. So yeah, you're a rookie, and you might be worth more than whatever the contract they give you. Let's say they are lowballing you. That's the team job to give you pay for the least amount of money, and they want to expect the most out of you. That's the team's job. It's a business, but when it comes up, your rookie contract is up. Now you can renegotiate. And if it's not to your liking, you either hold out or you get traded. That's the whole part of free agency.
I don't think. Okay, for example, I don't think the dude from Cincinnati, the pass rusher, what his name?
Stewart. Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to be there after his rookie. After the deal over. Like he would do 4 years then Kid Rocks. Because why? We said all the time, and Derek, Cincinnati Bengals don't like to pay nobody. They just pay their top wide receiver.
Yeah. They're a cheap organization. What do you expect?
Right. So you tell me you will pay your wide receivers instead of paying your defensive players.
What do you care about more? Do you care about winning, or do you care about the money?
But here's my Derek, can I explain the one kind of difference between your old school mentality and the new school mentality? The old school mentality is before the collective bargaining agreement had allocated designated spots. The old school way, teams used to lowball their rookies a lot because they were not allocated. The 15th overall pick wasn't in a pool where you're supposed to get X amount of money.
Right.
That's what they do now. So where these rookies are expecting a certain amount is because their agents know what the pool is. The NFL teams know what the allocated pool is. So in the new era, I kind of don't feel bad for teams when they try to lowball somebody and try to pay them less than what the allocated pool says they're supposed to be paid.
The real question should be, if you do hold out, will the team penalize you for it, or are they going to back you? Where is their loyalty? And their loyalty is about making money. That's what it comes down to.
To me, I think that team should get penalty. Because one, if you got a good player, you just drafted a good player. Right? I just looking over, thinking about all the pass rushers got drafted. And you don't want to pay that man what the rule is, then you should get penalty. Pay that man his bread. Y'all the one that picked him. Y'all the one that said, "Oh, we like this dude right here."
What if you pay him
Now,
over?
you don't want to pay him his money?
Then he doesn't perform, and then like you paid him for nothing. You didn't. I understand you paid him for his draft spot, but you might have paid him over what he performed. You still got to perform.
That means you got to do your research. That
I mean, it's risk and reward. I mean, that's risk and reward at that point.
It's risky.
I just feel the money's going to come. In your first 10 years, your money's going to come. After that, then you really got to really negotiate, or you may have to take a low ball number. So your first 10 years, you basically forming your career. Right. So in the first 4, you're going to get paid. Maybe not as much as you want, but you're going to get paid.
But I just think you're taking a risk on every player in the draft.
Maybe. I mean,
by the way, I just want to put this out here. There is a website called Spotrac or SPOTRAC.com, and they literally have a tab on their NFL side called Draft, where they show what the salaries are supposed to be. So so this is all easily found information. If you want to look at it, you can literally see what these guys are supposed to be getting paid. Like, I'm just saying, like, NFL owners know it, NFL players know it, their agents know it, and even fans can know like how much they're supposed to get paid over 4 years. So,
my next question: name a NBA team that needs to make a big splash trade this offseason, and why them? In
so I do not want to steal his answer because I do want to go with his team, but I got a feeling he's going to do it. So I am going to pivot away from San Antonio, and I'm going to say that a team that needs to make a big trade and they have to find a way to become championship contenders. I am looking at an organization that hasn't made the playoffs the last couple of years. They have some pieces available, but they do not have a core really lined up yet. And I'm saying the Chicago Bulls need to make an impact trade. They need to change things up out there in Windy City, out there in Chicago, because being 9th and 10th in the Eastern Conference year after year after year, it's not working. Okay. So instead of being 9th and 10th for the last 4 or 5 years in a row, how about they make an impact trade? They go out and get a top 50 caliber player, and you increase your chances of being a 6th seed. You increase your chances of being a 7th seed, being in the playoffs again. So I got Chicago.
I would say the Hawks. You need to make a big ass trade this offseason.
I mean, y'all need to work on your. Honestly, if Atlanta needs to work on anything, you need to work on your attendance. I mean, worse than the NBA. Gosh dang.
They want. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, man. You think just alike.
Yeah, we're.
If you bring in somebody big, a great basketball player, it will bring in fans.
Agreed.
So a Giannis or Durant would be great for Atlanta.
Giannis, not Durant, because he had the back end of his career.
Right.
And, we don't need we always used to go after older players.
Right.
And they come in here and don't do nothing. You see what I'm saying?
How old is Giannis? What, 30? 31?
I mean, Giannis is like 28, 29.
Right.
Okay.
If you to put the Giannis trade off or Anthony Edwards trade, he is from Georgia.
Gotta get Anthony Edwards. Calm that down.
Hey, anything possible.
Yeah, all right. It's cool when y'all do it.
Oh, they're messed up there. But the Hawks really need to get a superstar to come in and bring in the fans.
I think the Knicks need to make the trade. They need a Giannis or a Durant. They need a guy that can take more of the offensive load and not just leave it all on Brunson. You need a 1-2 punch. Cat's good, but Cat's going to wind up getting traded. Cat's going to be.
Hold on. Did Derek not pick San Antonio?
Well, because San Antonio, we don't know what. I mean, Wemby is getting healthy, but I think I want to see him do some things by himself before we bring over a big superstar.
With the amount of first-round picks that you have, you're not willing to sacrifice.
But we need a power forward. We got a bunch of guards. So I want a power forward. I want a power. Giannis if he comes here, Wemby will have to be 100% healthy. He's not going to come here. Wemby's not like Embiid. He's not going to put himself in that position.
I'm just saying, you have 7 first-round picks over the next couple of years.
That's
if you're
true.
San Antonio, you can sacrifice a couple and bring in a top 25 player.
Right, but who though? Who's going to come to a low media market with no Greg Popovich? Even though Greg Popovich is still in the office, front office, he's not a coach. So now you got a Mitchell Robinson. I don't know if that's enough to win in the West. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if it was a better coach, maybe we'll see what Mitchell Robinson do next year. A healthy Wemby will at least give us a 6, 7, or 8 seed. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. And if Giannis does come here, is that guaranteed championship? That's where he's going for.
I'm not saying Giannis, but okay.
Who else? I don't want nobody else but Giannis.
I'm not saying Giannis. There's one player you can go out and get.
Cool.
If you've been listening to the show for the last 2 weeks, you would have heard me say this by now. I say the San Antonio Spurs take the 2nd overall pick. They take the top 15 pick they have later in the first round.
14.
And you take an additional first-round pick. I love how Ron really knows where I'm going with this. And you call up the Dallas Mavericks. You call up the Dallas Mavericks. You bring in a Brinks truck, and you get Cooper Flag, baby.
Nah, I don't. I know
I'm just saying.
I understand that's okay, but I want Giannis, man. I want a big splash. San Antonio.
Worst case scenario, you call up Cleveland and you get Donovan Mitchell. But
we don't need another guard. I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm a huge fan. We don't need another guard.
De'Aaron Fox and Donovan Mitchell, man, that'd be a good duo.
Yeah, but De'Aaron Fox just got off an injury, so that's what I'm saying. This is my scenario. I know Durant's not coming to San Antonio, but we can make Giannis. I know he's not. We can make the pitch for Giannis. If a healthy Wemby, Giannis, De'Aaron Fox, you maybe give another year extension, Chris Paul, and I think that's a championship team in 2 years. I think that's a championship team. But I digress. I think what's name is going to New York. I think Giannis is going to New York. He's going to a big market. He's going to a big market.
Somebody think about retiring, their mind already checked out.
Yeah, but Chris Paul would stay with us if we get Giannis. I think he was like, I'm gonna do one more year to see if this works out, and then I can see him retire.
When you, even in football, basketball, when a person said they will retire, their mind already gone.
I understand that, but listen, this is Giannis we're talking about. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This might be his only other shot to get a championship.
You know how many shots Chris Paul had to get a championship?
Right, he's a Hall of Famer, but you're gonna want to stay for this. And Mitchell Robinson, what he'll have to do is he gonna say, "Hey, Wemby, you got to decide: do you want to give this team over to Giannis for a few years to get a championship, or do you want Giannis to back you up?" Which I doubt that's what happened. Giannis is the better player, So that's what, and then Wemby coming off that. How will Wemby mindset is? I think he's a humble enough player to take the back seat to for now to learn how to Giannis, and that'd be great for him. But I think he's going to a bigger market. He's going to New York. If any place you'll go, you go to New York.
Look, when it comes to Giannis, he's either staying in Milwaukee or he's going to the only team that he's ever said he wanted to go to. And that's
We'll
New York
see.
Knicks.
Let me just
He has talked about how
let me
Madison
just
Square Garden is a fair place in the world. So
Yeah.
let me go to my next question. Where do you rank this year NFL draft class of all time? In
what the? How do I know? It hasn't even happened yet. Like we don't even know how these players are gonna pan out.
what? Hey, they did the same thing with John Elway and
What? Hold
what?
on, you comparing
Wait,
80?
No.
wait. Immediately
I'm
after
not
the draft.
comparing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. But when I saying before the draft, they were like, "Oh, John Elway, you want to do this and you want to do that before the draft."
Oh, you talking about him and Shador and Shador Sanders? Okay.
They hype players up. They do that every year.
Right.
That's their job in the NFL media.
Right.
Well, yeah,
So
remember
then what I said,
John Elway was supposed to play for the Orioles, right?
Cold.
right? He was supposed to play baseball.
Yeah, he's supposed to play
No, he's
baseball.
supposed to play for the Yankees.
Yankees. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
But
they
he
hype.
said, I'm not, he said, if y'all don't give me to Denver, I'm not going to Baltimore Colts. If you don't give me to Denver, I'm going to baseball.
So every year, like you just said, and they hype up players. So
look, I'm not trying to downplay this question, but what I'm going to say is it is way too soon. It's way too early.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a crystal ball. All right, I don't know. I can't give you an answer on how this draft's gonna go. I don't know.
All right, I did take that. My next question: when an NFL rookie asked a Hall of Famer to wear his number, is that disrespectful or respect? I
mean, it's honestly one of the most respectful things you can do. It's respect because you're showing that legend that, hey, I care so much about you as a player and as a person that I want to wear your number. And we saw it with Cam Ward. We saw it with, for example, Abdul Carter. There are certain players that wanted to wear a certain number out of respect for who came before it. Now, there's two ways that you could have done it. I mean, Cam Ward literally approached Warren Moon, and he did it the respectful way. And then Abdul Carter wanted to get permission from LT, and LT was like, nah, you ain't going to wear my number. Like, But when it comes to a jersey number, and this is going to be a hot take, I know some people are going to act this way. In about 50 to 60 years from now, there's going to be so many jersey numbers retired across the entire NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB. We're going to start running out of effing numbers. Okay? In about 50 years, if almost everybody's getting their jersey retired now, you're going to run out of numbers.
So what's the rule? Is it you have to ask the player, or what is it?
Now, the respectful way is to ask permission from the family of that player if that person's dead, or if the person's alive, approach them and try to get their permission. The disrespectful way is trying to claim the number, and then when the original person says you can't wear it, try to make a big issue about it. But the respectful way is to kind of approach the family, try to approach the player. But seriously, the Yankees have how many numbers retired at this point? The Montreal Canadiens in the NHL, they have so many numbers at this point. Trust me, Derek, in about 2080, there's going to be so many numbers retired that you're pretty much going to run into this on a yearly basis.
I wouldn't want my favorite player number. I wouldn't want an all-time. I want my own number and have my own identity. You know what I'm saying? Now, as later on, I could change it to represent somebody like Kobe. He went, from
8 to 24.
8 to 24, right? I forgot. I think 8 wasn't the 8 his high school number?
No, his high school number was 33. That was
33. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to me, that and this is my opinion. To me, that's showing if you ask somebody to wear that number, that's showing their respect. To me, in my opinion. But if you don't ask a person to wear his number, that just showing me disrespectful.
You just want your own identity. Like
But
I get it. If you're a
but you
fan,
gotta
but
look at a lot of these players in the NFL and nowhere I finna go with this. They look up to the Hall of Famers.
yeah,
Well, absolutely. I mean,
right.
absolutely.
So you gonna want if this your favorite player growing up, you gonna want to have his number.
You can show your respects. Just say, hey, this is my favorite player. Like Wimpy said, Durant was his favorite player. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody looked up to Jordan. Everybody looks up to Kobe. You know, I just you want your own identity.
But
this is me, and this is how I just want to be separate because if you don't make a certain amount of accolades, he's not that. You didn't live up to that. Nah, I want my own thing. You know, I want to fail and rise and victory in my own way. I don't want to live my saddle.
That become regardless.
Like look at LeBron's son. LeBron's son may not have his number, but he don't want that shadow of LeBron. He want to be his own man.
But once again, David, that become regardless. If you get drafted in the NFL, every player that get drafted, that become. Can he live up to the hype? He did it in college. Can he do it in the NFL? That become regardless. And you know it too, Derek. And if Jalen Walker, we drafted him from Georgia. Can he live up to the 15 pick?
Right.
So what I'm trying to say, it becomes regardless of where you get drafted at, that what you just said become. No matter what. It still become. My next question. Can we agree when it comes to be a great quarterback in the NFL, it starts with college? He have to be every top college football team to be a great quarterback in the NFL. Yeah.
No. We have seen a couple of quarterbacks who have been great in the NFL who went to smaller Division I schools. All right. We have seen some quarterbacks who went to the Mountain West Conference in college football and they ended up winning NFL MVPs.
What?
No. Just because you went to Alabama, just because you went to Clemson, just because you went to a Power 5 school, I guess Power 4 now because the Pac-12 is essentially dead. But because you went to a power school doesn't mean that you're going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. So no, I'm not going to agree to that because we've seen quarterbacks come from lesser schools and lesser prestigious schools, and they've ended up being some of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. So,
all right.
I agree with Ian. As I said, that's why I don't take too much, into college football. Now, as I said, me and Den, I agree with Den when it comes to some of your weaknesses and vulnerabilities and tendencies come from college football, but you're supposed to tone that up when you get in the NFL. You're a man now. See, that's what's wrong with this generation, and I hopefully I don't go on a rant, but you have to become a man. You can't be childish. You got to put away childish ways, man. You got to step up and be mature. You know what I'm saying? All of us can't be Henry Ruggs with great talent and then get in a car accident because you want to go out drinking. That shows.
Okay, hold on. Say his name again.
Henry Ruggs.
Fuck him. Right,
I'm sorry. Sore spot. I apologize, but it's just an example. It's just an example. I'm just saying, like Maurice Clarett. Maurice Clarett was great in college. He was the man. But what happened when he got to the NFL? He was involved in so much stuff. You got to mature. You are a man now. You know what I mean?
You got to look at it that wait a minute. A lot of the where you go, just because you get drafted, that don't mean you're going to win that.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Look at the Cleveland Browns. How long they been in the vote or trying to find their next Hall of Famer quarterback? What, 20 years?
Forever. 40 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Otto Graham retired
If
at
you,
50. So
Well,
well,
Bernie Kosar was mine.
if you get a good quarterback, you got to know what to put around that quarterback. What
Right.
kind of weapons? Andrew, for the look. I mean, for the coach. Andrew Luck. They got he was a damn good quarterback at that time, but that offensive line was ass. Excuse my French.
Right.
By the way, I love how you answered the most important position in the NFL. It's not the quarterback; it's the offensive line. But still,
what? And don't beat on
the offensive line.
And do not be that person, boy.
The
do not be that person.
Offensive line is the
most offensive line can't score a damn thing.
In the
it
NFL.
Can't score a damn thing.
Hey, Derek, listen to me very quickly. If any great quarterback didn't have that meat wall in front of him protecting him, they'd be on their ass every single play.
Like Scott Mitchell, and then Barry Sanders.
They do.
What about Terrell Davis?
All right.
Terrell Davis had the greatest line of all time, baby.
My point is that the offensive line is the most important position.
Greatest line of all time, baby. Underweighted and can block.
A quarterback's the most valuable, but offensive line is the most important. Go ahead.
So getting back to my
the most important is the quarterback. Come on. You can have the greatest offensive line in the world, but if that quarterback ain't throwing that ball on the money and doing the right plays and making comebacks when they're down, then I'm telling you, you're not going to win many games.
But that's not always true. I mean, there's Super Bowl teams out there that won with quarterbacks that were just
Little Tampa Bay.
They did enough to win the game. They did enough to win the greatest game of all time.
But they quarterback, like didn't just said, well,
I mean, all I have to say is the late '80s Washington Redskins when it comes to great offensive line helping a quarterback win a Super Bowl.
Right. Joe Theismann is not a good quarterback.
Well, what about
Ripken?
What about Ripken?
Ripken ain't a good quarterback.
No, Ripken is not a good quarterback. You ain't got Ripken in your top 100.
Right.
I'll check his stats.
No, I'm lying. You ain't got him in your top 50. I say 50.
I'll check his stats, but I like Jeff Hostetler won, and then of course, Little Kim, he won.
Right. I ain't mad at hell. Hey, listen, Trent Dilfer.
I mean, Jonathan Ogden was blocking for.
Hold on. Dan, I know you were offensive lineman when you played, but you really think the offensive lineman more important than the quarterback?
I don't think it's more important. I think you need the whole team. I think the whole team is important.
True.
All right.
True.
And you gotta believe in the dream, like, because if y'all not all on the same page believing in the dream, it will not work. That's one thing that I learned playing sports.
NFL, the quarterback is the most important player on the team.
He's
the centerpiece.
He's the supposed to be superstar.
Right.
I met a lot of quarterbacks that was dumb, and I mean dumb. All right, but they had a cannon for an arm, but they couldn't remember the play from the sideline to the huddle.
$1 million arm, 10-cent brain. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. So let me go to my next question. Who you think will win the NBA Finals, and who will be the MVP of the Finals? Dennis.
Indiana Pacers with the Halliburton. With the Holly? Superstar.
No, a star.
I'm going to say... okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, no, Derek, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. You go to the end. I'm sorry.
So I have OKC winning in 6 games. I did this early on before the thing even started. Oklahoma City winning in 6. Shea wins MVP. Solidifies himself as a top 3 player in the NBA moving forward. That is going to be OKC winning in 6.
Oh, you said Jay Alexander. Okay, I'm tripping. I need to talk about Jalen Red. Whoa,
OKC
Yeah.
winning is yes.
I think it's going to be OKC. They redeemed themselves. If they went down 0-2, I would have said Tyrese Halliburton or Pascal Siakam.
About
Pascal
time
Siakam.
you got it right.
I get it. But no, Tyrese Halliburton is definitely, if the Pacers try some way to have a Cinderella season with a championship. But yeah, Shea should win it. Shea should win it if OKC continues the way they're doing. They've been dominant since game one, and I think they're going to continue to put the pressure on defensively and be doing it all playoffs. So it's going to be Shea and them and Shaq. Yeah.
That's who I got in 6. That's who I got.
Yeah.
My next question. Do you think the New York Knicks need to trade for another player or run it back with the same players? And who should be the next New York Knicks head coach? There.
I say that you run it back with the same players because you don't have no capital at all to make a trade because you got rid of all your draft. So you got to run it back with the same players, and I guess it's time for you to call the last piece of Villanova, Jay Wright. Jay Wright. I guess it's that time.
I'm going to say Giannis. You made the trade for Giannis. You give up Cat and maybe a second and a future first or whatever. Whatever you got to get. You got to get Giannis over there, and you get Mike Malone, and you get a championship. You rub it in the Pacers' face. Yeah. That we go New York, go. It's all great. I like this playoffs. It's great fun to see that Indiana New York rivalry. To me, I've invested in the NBA now. You know, see, I told you for the last 3 years, I was like, the NBA is dead. I cannot watch a basketball game. It is horrible. But these playoffs have renewed that old fashioned competitiveness, and I'm telling you, it's going to be the Knicks, the Pacers rivalry is back. NBA back, baby. Let's go. But yeah,
so
make the move.
What you got for? Talk to me.
So when it comes to the New York Knicks organization, I expect them to make moves. Like, I think that when it comes to their rotation, they're going to move some players in and out. But I don't expect them to make a splash. All right. I know Giannis wants to go to New York. I understand that he loves MSG. He loves Manhattan. He's always talked favorable about playing at MSG, it being one of the best venues in the world. I get that. But the Knicks don't have the value of assets that they once did. I mean, shoot, they literally traded majority of it the past offseason to get to where they are now. So in terms of a big move, I don't think the Knicks are going to do that. More rotation pieces in terms of moving assets around. But when it comes to the head coach, I am not 100% on who their assistant coaches are. But if there is a trusted assistant that the New York Knicks have had for the last 4 or 5 years, don't be shocked if the Knicks promote from within. Because we've been seeing that in the NBA the last couple of years.
Right.
A team will fire a head coach.
We've seen it this past. Right.
Right. We're seeing it in the NBA now, where even if OKC promoted from within. They fired their previous coach. I think it was Scott Brooks. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But they fired their previous coach. They promoted their current coach, and he's about to win an NBA Finals with them. So whoever their most trusted assistant is, that's who I think the Knicks are going to promote and have be the head coach.
You think they're going to promote his daddy, Rick Brunson?
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't put it past the New York Knicks. I would not put it past the New York Knicks. So.
My next question. Since college football players getting paid now, do you think high school football players need to start getting paid too?
They don't need to get paid. But like I said this years ago, Ryan, it's going to trickle down all the way to Pee Wee football. It's going to trickle down all the way to Pee Wee football.
Yeah, what you got for me?
No.
Why not? Why you say no?
Unless there is an NIL system that's invented for 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, and 17-year-olds, unless there is an NIL system for high school, then the answer is no. Because remember, these are high school students. These are 14-year-olds. These are 15-year-olds. Now, if you want to say that they're going to make money, uploading their highlight reels, and they're going to make money off of that, then I will sit there and say maybe you have a point.
Maybe.
But do I think that your local grocery store is going to pay a high schooler to be in commercials? Do I think that your local car dealership is going to hire a senior in high school to have them appear in a 30-second ad?
Maybe in Texas.
Maybe in Texas. Maybe.
Texas,
but,
Georgia.
But Ron, when it comes to NILs, name, image, likeness. That's the whole point of it. Is that you're getting paid off your name, you're getting paid off your image, and you're getting paid off your likeness. Unless there's a 14 or 15-year-old that has such a name and such an image around them that companies are willing to shell money to them, I don't see it for everybody else. I don't see it for everybody else. Okay?
All right. There.
So now when we talk about name, image, and likeness, that means a beer company is going to come to a teenager and want to promote its product. I have a problem with that. I'm a parent. That means that you are now telling this 14 to 18-year-old child, you are now an adult making more money than your parents have seen their lifetime. I have an issue with that too.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up, Derek. Now you say you have an issue with that. So what if the high school was sponsored by Budweiser and now it's Budweiser's on their jersey?
Yeah, I got a problem with that, bro. Are
there
Budweiser? Do they do that?
I'm telling you, it's about to trickle down.
We know that Gatorade and Powerade sponsor like middle school.
Yeah, but that's juice, not alcohol.
Yeah, that's not alcohol, but I'm just saying.
You gonna have a high schooler taking a Bud back? Like, y'all don't see the slippery slope we're on here,
sir.
But,
I'm here to tell you this, Derek. When they start putting beer at Chuck E. Cheese, it was over. All right, I'm just
beer Chuck E. Cheese? Oh my God, I ain't been there.
Beer Chuck E. Cheese. They had beer Chuck E. Cheese for over 20 years now, sir. I'm here to let you know.
But that's for the adults, not for the children, though.
I'm just letting you know.
Let me go to my next question.
It's going down. That's what I'm here to tell you.
I need to get out.
Name a NFL team that had a bad NFL draft, and why that NFL team, Dennis?
I think it was the Saints. Had a bad draft.
Well, what's considered a bad draft?
Well, I just didn't feel as though they got the needs that they were supposed to get.
Okay.
Now, we're not going to say that the players not going to turn out to be who they are.
Right.
But as far as needs, needs over wants, they didn't get the needs that they were supposed to get. That's what I'm going to say on that.
All right. Yeah.
So, not talking about the players, just what they did on draft night. Jacksonville Jaguars better hope and pray that the amount of picks that they gave up to go get a 2-star player, a 2-way guy, okay? They better hope that pans out. Because they didn't just give up a little bit to move up 3 spots. They didn't give up a medium amount to move up 3 spots. No, they gave up a pretty penny to move up with Cleveland. Okay?
Right.
So if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars and you have a rookie general manager, you are essentially banking that this 2-way player is going to save your franchise. That is, when I saw that trade happen live, and I was on the live stream that BJ did, I was stunned with what they gave up to Cleveland, because that is a Hail Mary. You're praying to whatever Lord, whatever God you pray to, that it pays off. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me say that they're praying for that new head coach, Duval.
Right. That is a desperation rookie general manager move. That's what a rookie GM makes. All right, that's the type of move that happens there.
All right, done.
I don't think nobody had a bad draft. I think it was a pretty average draft. Everybody, they couldn't, as you said, it wasn't a lot of quarterbacks this year. So, everybody saw what the Eagles were doing. So, it was sort of a running back heavy draft a little bit. No, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was. I don't like that we didn't get Amari Hampton, but Jay Barron and they said he's the man. So we'll see. We just gotta wait and see. But I think it was a pretty average draft, and everybody got what they thought they wanted. So
I gotta go with Dennis on this one. The Saints. How you not draft Sador? How you?
Well, I was thinking about the Falcons. Why do you draft Sador when your dad's played? So I'm like,
we already got our quarterback last year. We got Michael Penix.
Right.
So why draft another quarterback?
Sador could wait, just like Michael Penix waited behind Kirk Cousins. Now Sador could have waited behind Michael Penix, or could have beat him out for the quarterback. I thought that's what they were going to do. Y'all traded up, but y'all what defense? So yeah,
we need defense bad. We cannot even get to the quarterback last year.
True.
The quarterback was in the pocket talking to his wife. Hey, yeah, what's up? How's the kids doing? Oh yeah, really? My mom there.
I thought y'all was gonna move up and get Sador. I said, yeah, they're gonna make it just like his dad.
No,
and he gonna play for Atlanta. But what you gonna do?
But my next question: if you a NFL owner and you hire a new head coach and got some veterans on the team, do you let the new head coach trade the veterans, or will you do it?
It's situational. Really depends on what team you're talking about. I mean, there's certain teams that when it comes to veterans, you trade them away. You essentially have them, they go away, they go to some other team, and you'll see what happens there. And then there's some organizations that are so committed to certain players, and they're committed to certain systems, certain roles, and certain, areas that they are going to keep them until they pretty much have the wheels fall off and they can justify letting them go at that point. But it's situational. It's team to team. It depends.
All right, there.
As I said, it depends on the actual player. Like as I said, you ain't getting rid of Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if you don't fit in your system or not. You ain't getting rid of him. Yeah, you better fit. You better fit like some protection. You know what protection I'm talking about. you better fit. You better fit. You better fit. You better fit. You paying that man $500 million for 10 years. You better fit somewhere. Shoot,
but
better find a parking spot or something.
Dennis.
Yeah, I think he outplayed his contract though. Patrick Mahomes. Personally.
But answer the question though, Dennis.
What was the question again?
If you a NFL owner and you hire a new head coach and you got some veterans on the team, do you let the new head coach trade them, or will you do it?
It all depends on do the veterans can fit the scheme or not, and what kind of veterans are there. All depends. When Nick Sirianni came in, he didn't get rid of none of the core, so.
My next question. Tom Thibodeau been fired, is that on the New York Knicks players or Tom Thibodeau
Both.
or the head coach?
Both. I say both.
Both. What you saying?
So Tom Thibodeau and the way he handles the players and the way he does his system, the way Tom Thibodeau presents the game itself, the way he breaks it down and everything, there's some players who can handle it, and there's some players who cannot handle it. There's some players who are able to gel in Tom Thibodeau's system and they end up putting up stellar numbers. Then there's some guys who don't pan out and they end up going to another team very quick. His system is a very tricky slope, depending on if you fit in it or if you don't fit in his system. So when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, and I said this last week, if he didn't lead them to the NBA Finals and win it, he was going to get fired anyway. I highly doubted that the Knicks were going to keep him after this year. It's very similar to hockey, by the way. Pete DeBoer led the Dallas Stars to 3 straight Western Conference Finals appearances. He got fired literally the next day after losing the Western Conference Finals, after leading them to 3 appearances back to back to back. Why? Because his system irritates some players and it benefits some players. So with Tom Thibodeau, a lot of it has to do with the way that he plays, the way that he breaks down the game and expects certain expectations on players. So,
Derek?
Well, he's old school and defense first. And while it's great for an upcoming team, it's not the best fit for a championship team if you don't have a lot of scorers or guys that can get the ball in the basket. So you got Jalen Brunson, you got Cat. Who's your third scorer now? You got a bunch of role players, but who's that third guy who's going to put the ball in the basket, whether it's in the post or a shooter? And they lost a lot of talent, but when you get in the conference finals, man, you never know when you're going to come back to that level. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards said, we'll be back, but you just don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Tom Thibodeau, he don't like to use a lot of his bench. You got to use your bench in the playoffs. Most final, championship teams use their entire bench. You use the most, at least 10 players. Right. So I think it's unfair the way he got fired. It's similar to what Marty Schottenheimer happened in the NFL. They after what's his name? John Fox lost for us against the Colts. He got fired. Expectations are high in New York, and I think that's why Tom Thibodeau fired. I actually called it too, Ian. Getting fired. I told June. I said, "Yo, if y'all don't make it to the finals, all the expectation in the expectancy is on y'all. Yeah, he's not going to make it out of the season. So yeah, I think it's unfair though."
All right, my last question of the night. Number 13. What was it in San Antonio Spurs? Was it the players or was it the system? They started winning 1999. There. What was it? Was it the players or the system?
It was 90% the system and 10% the players. In San Antonio, it takes a lot of sacrifice. Like, we don't go for a lot of hot dogging. It's a team effort. We got curfews. We don't want you out there partying. Right. You're gonna get your money on the back end, but don't you ain't looking for like superstars right off. You got to earn it. Right. Popovich liked to use a lot of his veterans, and he likes to play chess pieces with certain players, and certain players don't like that. Steven Jackson didn't like it. Vernon Maxwell used to talk about it, how strict they were. Right. I don't care if you're strict. I don't care if you have a curfew. The results were 25 years, 5 championships. We're a top 5 team. So the system, 90% the system and the coach. And then 10%, of course, Tim Duncan, Tony, Kawhi, you know what I'm saying, David Robinson, you know what I'm saying, Avery. Hey, look, it works. It works. I know. It's not for everybody, but it works, and that's why I'm such a huge fan. But yeah, 90% the system.
Ian, talk to me.
So the way I saw it, it was 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power and will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Dang. Damn.
Yeah.
Dennis, what was it?
Ian,
The
what bad
system
you guys?
or the player?
Both.
Both. I gotta say the system. I gotta say the system.
The system only worked with the right pieces. Tim Duncan took over after Robinson.
Right.
Robinson was the main guy from 89 to 95.
Right.
96. I'm sorry, 97 to 89 to 97. I'm sorry. And then he got hurt in 97.
Then you got Tim Duncan.
You got Tim Duncan, and then that's when those years, that's when Popovich took over. Right? When we got Tim Duncan, we got Popovich in there because he was in our front office first in like 96, I think, 95, 96. So Pop is a military guy. So Pop's all about discipline. Yeah, he said you can take time off, but after the season's over, you ain't clubbing. Well, if we going for a championship, nah. I agree with him.
But to me, when y'all had Mad Max, what y'all call him, Houston call him or whatever. I think he could have did. He should, to me, in my opinion, kept him.
Well, I think Vernon Maxwell. He wasn't coaching when we had Vernon. I think he was. No, when he was Vernon Maxwell, I think he was in the front office. He wasn't coaching. He didn't coach until 96. He didn't coach until 96.
But look what Maxwell did when he got to Houston.
Well, yeah, I remember Maxwell. It depends on what series you're talking about, because Maxwell, I don't know if he was a starter in Houston.
I think he was. I think y'all drafted him.
Yeah, we drafted him. But you gotta remember, there was 4 different coaches in between Popovich and then when the Robinson's rookie season. Right. So, or at least three that I remember. I think it was something Tarkenton. It was John Lucas, and we had Brown, Larry Brown.
Right.
So Bob Hill was the fourth one. I'm sorry, Bob Hill was the fourth one. Bob Hill was Robinson's MVP year and the one when he dropped 71. So that's different regimes. Now, yes, San Antonio is a small town. You really can't do much there. You know, Charles Barkley talk about the women and all that, but that's just him joking. Right. So if it's a small media market and we're trying to build a brand here, Robinson was the main guy, maybe Elliott, but that's about it. So it's not like it's much for you to do there. So if it ain't much for you to do there, you need to concentrate on the sport. So the system 90% and the players that it fits around. Yeah, I remember from Tim Duncan's first championship in 99, our first championship in 99, till 2009, he was shuffling around a lot of veterans.
Right.
Our best teams were 03, 05, and I'll say 2014. 07, we had a lot of veterans. We had Michael Finley. We had Robert Horry. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
your best team, in my opinion, when y'all had Tracy McGrady.
What, 2012?
Yep.
Nah. We lost to Thunder that year. Our best team was 03, 05, and 2014. And then it's 07, and then it's 99.
But Dennis.
All right, now that was good. God bless y'all. You know what I mean? Anybody got any last words before we get up out of here?
Everybody like and share the show, and thank you for keep on watching us, and we're gonna bring you some more heat every week.
Patience and 6. Later.
Missed me while I was gone.